Joel Wen again. Okay, so in looking at the structure of the world, we looked at these sort of universal characteristics, which is the individual nature of the biography, and that people, as they go through their particular biography in different places in the world, they'll come to things in a particular and unique fashion. There's no reason for somebody growing up in India to have a biography that's like somebody growing up in Kansas. That's one of the qualitative mysteries of the world that's been created by the Creator, is that it's possible for people to have these very different biographies, which nonetheless have universal characteristics, which we've been talking about a little bit, which is that they have likes and dislikes, they have a life of feelings, they have a conceptual life, and that the varieties of material in the conceptual life is considerable all over the world. Any place you go, it's going to be different if you're willing to go from just thinking about people to thinking with them, to enter into what the world looks like from their point of view, or at least from what you can observe of it. And of course, you can do this close to yourself. One of the things that's important in anybody who wants to take up spiritual development, if that's something that you want to take up, is to recognize that what we might call communities of karma. Now I'm adding a word here. Now people are going to go, and just with Christianity, I want to talk about karma in a slightly different way than a superficial conception we might have of karma. But in order to talk about karma, we also have to talk about reincarnation. And of course, we solve a number of problems when we appreciate this. People will say, well, if you're talking about Christian or Christ or Christianity, you can't have that. Of course, remember what I said that Christ said. He said, I have much more to say to you, but you can't bear it just yet. In the West, we've had this idea that you only go around once. And I think that's an idea that's existentially true, that you should approach your biography as if you only go around once, in the sense of who you are in this moment. Who you are in this moment is in this life, in this moment, and whatever else may be true. Even if you believe in karma, even if you believe in reincarnation, the person that you were in your last life, or the person that you're going to be in your next life, isn't who you are now. Get that? It isn't who you are now. There are transformations and changes, and so the who you are now only lives in this life, and you need to focus on this life. But you also need to recognize that the people that are close to you, the people in your family, the people, your associates at work, all these different places where you have particular individuals in which you're involved with. I mean, it could be a cellmate if you're in prison. It could be all kinds of things. They're in your life because there's something that you can learn from them being in your life. Now, of course, you can take the attitude you don't want anything to do with these people, and a lot of people do. One of the things that happens in families is a kind of explosion. We used to use this word in the 50s to talk about the nuclear family, and of course, nuclear is a word that doesn't just mean small and tiny. It also means something that's kind of flying apart on its own. Material matter that sort of radiates, gives off alpha and beta particles naturally, for example, is a good simile or metaphor for the American family. The American family is sort of flies apart. People in American families don't like each other. Those not likes and dislikes and likes influence things that we do. And all of this is food for our own thinking and for our own spiritual development. And the interesting thing about it from a sort of practical point of view is that everybody's free in it. You as an individual don't have to approach any of these questions the same way I would, for example, or somebody else would. You self-determine how you want to approach it. And if you want to think, well, I really don't have a karma with my family. I want to get away from my family. I want to go live someplace else. I want to find other people to have a karma with, to be part of. And so I'm going to run away and I'm going to join Doctors Without Borders, or I'm going to join a commune, or I'm going to join the army, or I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. Those choices belong to you to make, and no one is to question them. They're yours. All I'm really saying is that if you're going to think about your biography, if you're going to think about the structure of the world, you need to recognize a couple of things, which is our similarities, and then we have antipathies and sympathies, and then we have different conceptions. And also there is a potential for us to have a mastery over these things. We can master our antipathies and sympathies. We can master our conceptual life. You'll find this in my writing. That's if we choose to do it. We don't have to choose to do it. We can just glide through life with the given that's come to us out of our childhood that we are today, and just be this fixed personality and never develop any further. And it's a choice we can make. It might be useful in certain situations, particularly if you wanted to get into politics or think about politics, to recognize that one of the reasons there's all this arguing in politics is there's this collision between people's likes and dislikes and beliefs and points of view and concepts and stuff. And we know this, it's obvious, we talk about it, but we very often talk about it as if the other guy is dumb. Like Rush Limbaugh shouldn't think the way I think because I'm a liberal and I'm smarter than he is. Or the point of view that's said by I can't remember that woman's name, but there's a conservative woman who says not nice things about liberals. You know, liberals are bad, evil, the world would be better without them. Those kinds of things are ridiculous. Those kinds of points of view have skipped over the idea of reason, skipped over the idea of being scientific, being rational, and just gone into the level of, if I don't like something because I'm better than everybody else, my likes and dislikes ought to rule the world, and everybody should have the same likes and dislikes as me. Well, if everybody goes around approaching the world as if that was true, which is sort of what the stage setting is being formed by today. It's being formed today by all these impulses out of human beings, which want to sleep through the fact that we have likes and dislikes, but forget that we have likes and dislikes. In other words, we make eternal truths out of our likes and dislikes, and the other guy's likes and dislikes are stupidities and things that he ought to get rid of. And so we approach the world that way, and what happens is what we see today in the world, which is conflict. And conflict is escalating. This is sort of what's happening as we approach this time mark that's reflected in the Mayan calendar, and people who want to pay attention to end times eschatologies and to certain elements of the Hopi prophecy. The world is in crisis because people have developed a strong individual relationship to their likes and dislikes, and they go about the world beating each other up over it. And if you want to get a look at this from a sort of very simplistic point of view, look up on my web pages, maybe Google my name, Joel A. Wendt, and then the word bicycles, and you'll find a little story I wrote, a little Christmas story about a girl who has a conversation with an angel at Christmas time. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to end the work for today, in which I've produced videos by talking, and I have to do the production of it, and then we'll take up some things later, but take a look at bicycles. That'll give you a way of looking at these things that might be practical and funny. Talk to you later. Bye.